Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Custom Culture Rodcast, brought to you by Murpho's Rod and Custom Shop and Ginny Shifters, the original and still the best Ginny Shifters. We are sitting here in beautiful Buda, Texas, once again at Murpho's shop, right here, smack dab in the middle of it.
Ooh, it's hot.
And the man right here, how are you, sir? It is hot.
I'm doing great, Deuce. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good, man.
Yeah.
And Custom Colette, how are you?
Still good, but guess again, still tired.
We're always tired. You're bringing a 5 hour.
It's another Monday, and we were working all weekend. So
We were working all weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, tell them about what happened this weekend. Why you guys
man.
were working?
So we had Lone Star Roundup last weekend.
Yep.
Then we did a podcast on Monday with Jenny Shifters.
Right.
And that was Jenny Shifter, and that was great. And then this weekend we had our
More
chop
guests.
class. Yeah.
More guests.
More guests in a chop class.
Yeah, we had Clark Gilly from Colorado come out, and he's been in the shop all week doing some shaping stuff with us. And a buddy of his, Jeremy, that came out, they stayed with us. I don't think we've had a house without guests for about 2 weeks, but
At least.
it's been fast and furious. Anyway, we did a bunch of shaping in the shop this week, and then we did a chop class.
Right.
And
That was so
we chopped
good.
a 53 Chevy and had some guests here. We were here last night till, late. I don't know.
9,
So
10, 11.
we've been hitting it hard. It's been great though. Man, it's been fun, but we're feeling it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was cool watching that, you guys being able to chop it and seeing it online and watching that. For all you people out there, you can see this stuff online and whatnot on Murpho's, on your webpage,
YouTube.
as well as YouTube, where you're watching the chop. And a bunch of people, some of them have never done anything before. They just came in and you slowly learn how to chop a top, which
We're learning,
is
we're
rad.
learning all things to do with just chopping a top.
Which I've said
So.
to you before, whenever I retire, I want to learn to chop tops and just do that.
Well, you said you're coming to the next one, so
I am
I'm
coming
going to
the
put
next
you
one,
on
but
that.
That's it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
We'll
Like,
bring it.
You can sit around and go, well, why don't you do this? And one of our guests ages ago go, nah, man, I'm chopping tops.
We got invited back to the Evil Shindig, and I think it's October.
October.
Yeah. And we did a chop top live out there this past year. It was a lot of fun, and I guess it went well because they invited us back.
Invite us back.
So
They're like, hey,
we're
you're
gonna
coming
go
back, right?
and chop a 36 Ford in
Nice.
October. So I hope to see you there.
That would be
October.
really cool.
Yeah.
Good, because it won't be 108 degrees, so I like it.
No, it'll be nice and like cool and a lot of wind.
But it did heat up to about 100 here today.
Yeah, I hear it. We're definitely.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah,
This weekend.
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Right now I'm
brutal.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I curled my hair. I was like, oh well.
Well, hey, man, I'm on the show tonight, which
Yeah.
I'm excited about.
Yes.
We have our first returning guests,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but to see what's been going on through with everything, and we got Doc Weber out of Riverside, California. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome.
Good. And his daughter Annette. I'm sorry, I didn't
Yes,
introduce you.
she's right there. She's sitting right there. Hey, Nat.
Hey guys,
is.
how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
And for
Good.
all of you guys who maybe didn't see one of our earlier shows, Doc Weber is a artist. He's a painter on both parts, painting and paintings, and then a badass car painter, and teaching the younger generation
Yeah.
about the culture and about how to do things in the shop, man. And it's badass. And I'm delighted to have you back, man.
It's a pleasure to be back, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, Doc. We had such a great time talking to you before. And Annette, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Nat.
yes, man.
And it's like one of those things where like the show kind of gets going and you get into some more stuff and you start connecting, and then it gets really, really good, and then you're out of time.
Right.
So we get to
we
come
bring
back
him
and,
back,
and talk
yeah.
to Doc some more. And Doc, I'm looking forward to seeing you in about 3.5 weeks or
Yeah,
so, huh?
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria. Yeah,
Yeah, Cruiser Nationals. That's it.
that's right. And speaking of, look at all the stuff on
I know.
Doc's wall right
Yeah,
there.
I like the
kidding.
setup. The setup is so good.
Yeah.
It's really true to what Doc does.
So catch us up, guys. What have you been up to?
We just did
Viva.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got
Yeah.
to meet a lot of friends from Europe and Japan, Germany. Awesome people. And I got to meet with some people from Japan that just came over. 5 individuals, bought some art, their artwork, I was a tourist and I bought some prints and so forth and got some pictures with some guys that were totally awesome. Met a pinstriper from France. They came over and he hung out with me, and then one of my former students, Matt Hutchison, showed up and hung out with us and his lady, and we had a good time, really good time. I missed you guys.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it was a
How
single.
it ended up where Viva and Lone Star were on the same weekend, I will never be able to tell you.
You want to
I
talk
couldn't
about poor
leave.
planning?
Yeah, that was horrible. I was like, what are we going to
Yeah,
do?
yeah. You know, when we're in Viva, we see lots of people from Texas.
Yeah.
And-
it's like
Yeah.
the whole circuit thing,
But you see people from all over the place. They say, "Oh man, we're going to come see you in Texas." And then this year it was one of those things where it was.
Yeah.
It was
Think about the
notably missed.
choices people had to make.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it felt different at Viva, like just knowing that there was another show, big show happening. Did it feel thinner? Because I kind of felt like, Lone Star was a little bit thin because of
Yeah.
it.
Had a returning, I would say friend, but customer. And he's actually from Texas. And, he and his wife had to decide whether which show they were going to go to.
Right.
And yeah, so he just, convinced his wife because she was like, the second he said Vegas, they were going, so she for herself. But it was a little different.
Right. The
but
vibe
also,
had to been a little off.
Yeah, I've heard that, but nothing on Tom's part. It was a great turnout. Obviously, like since the pandemic, it's always it's been slow to build back up. But I was glad to see a lot of international folks.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was great to see that participation coming back versus more so like just U.S. folks. But it was it was fun. It was really hot. It was really, really hot. But I had a great time, and I think I don't know, as vendors, it was a good experience, and I don't. It's not as busy as before the pandemic. I think that's just given, but otherwise, it was a good show.
Yeah, and then I had that friend from Texas. He's a 3M rep, and he's been coming and coming and coming. And he said, here I got something locally in my state, but I made reservations.
Right.
And he goes, I'm committed, but that was a big thing. A lot of people were, hey, they were from Texas. We're here, and same thing's happening at the same time in Texas. And, it's in our backyard, and we had to come all the way to Vegas, So that was a big conflict with a lot of people. And there was a lot of people from Texas. Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad both shows were successful.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
It's a big deal.
good news, I think, that the dates have come out. I'm pretty sure that there's, no conflict next year.
Conflict.
So we'll be planning on returning to Viva.
Yeah.
And get to hang out with you guys. Yeah.
No, we were like, it's so hard to have to choose, but then we're like, this is our home show.
Yeah,
we have to go. We have to do it.
Well, and we do our open house every year on the close of
Right.
Roundup,
Yeah.
So, man, but anyway, we missed you. And
Missed you guys too.
looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Doc, what's going on with your painting? Are you doing anything cool right now?
Yeah, I met a friend of mine from, he does zoot suits. And I was talking to him, and he asked kind of my history background of being in LA and East LA and so forth. And I said, well, man, I know the gentleman that started this company. And he goes, who's that? And then I said, he's a counselor. He was at a high school and he was a counselor. And he goes, oh, man, he goes, that's my family. And it turns out that he kind of stepped away and let his family member take the business. And so I'm commissioned to do some artwork with some zoot suit stuff on it. And I kind of went into the history of that. And I told him that my mom sang at the premiere of the zoot suit and the premiere at La Bamba. And my mom was a big star in Mexico, tried to do the transition during World War II, which was bad timing, if you know about that stuff. But she went for a screen test and so forth, and she could mimic a song perfect, but when she spoke, she had that accent. And that kind of hit for her, yeah. And then I was telling him about my grandfather was a tailor in LA, and he got arrested for, they went after because he was making the zoot suits.
What?
And they arrested
It's so
him.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, priests came in and they went down protest, and Later on that night, about 12 o'clock, they let him go because they thought it'd be bad press.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they were right.
yeah.
That's
And so
awesome.
I'm doing that. I'm still teaching. Um,
43, is this 43 years?
this is 43 years at the college and
I think it's
41 at the
Wow.
high school. Yeah.
That's
That is
dedication.
so rad.
That's
Yeah.
such dedication.
And like contribution, to
Absolutely.
culture. Like I can't begin to tell you how many cats are out there that like learn from Doc that like are just hit. So what a legacy, like what a mark you've left on all of us, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that's kind of my gratitude that I get from going to the shows and helping my dad out with his stuff is a lot of his students, they won't say it to him, but they will express their, their appreciation for what they learned from him, whether it was at Rubidoux High School or RCC, and they always joke like, oh, you don't remember me or whatever. And, it's really just, they get very emotional.
Yeah.
They won't say it to him, but they say it to me and they're just like, your dad's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, but he's like, yeah, it's different. But as a teacher, he did make a huge impact. And, for me, I understand it because I was also, in his class actually when I went to Rubidoux High School. And so I know kind of how it is and like, being in that different niche of, the classes you can take. And it really is a certain type of student that appreciates it. And, I enjoy that the most. Even, again, at Viva, was the first time I finally got to meet Matt, one of his students that he talks about all the time, who really soared in his career after learning, taking my dad's classes. And it was really glad to finally meet him and his wife for the first time. So yeah, I get a lot of gratitude out of hearing everyone come up and, really appreciate whether it was high school or RCC, what he did to teach them.
Well, here's a little side story with Matt Hutchison. He was my student at RCC, then became my aide at Rubidoux with another gentleman that was Brian Green, who was a very talented builder of speaker boxes and so forth and stereo systems. And Matt Hutchison, I took him to the first ALSA get together in LA at the factory. And it was just the who's of the industry. And Mike Laval was there, and he wasn't nobody at the time. Tom Kelly was there. Bob Spina was there. So it was a good mix of people, but it was our people, people of the industry. Right. So you didn't worry about, the other people, that come up and just Google over your work and so forth. It was our artistry there. And we got samples of the products and so forth like that. And Mike Laval says, hey, I'm going to come out with a DVD. And we go, yeah, on True Fire. And this is before he caught on, with Overhaul and so forth, with Chip. And they're good, they were good, real close. And Craig Fraser was there and just the who's who of the business, And a lot of them were kind of known and some were just starting out. I was in a group, a Latin Association of airbrush artists. And mostly it was street artists that were taggers and so forth made the transition. And later on, Matt got the CD from, now this was a handwritten one, okay, by Mike, not pressed or anything,
A burnt CD.
Yeah, and a burnt. And I got it at Coast from Dave. And he goes, yeah, Mike said to give you this. And I go, so we went back later on that weekend, and it was Matt, myself, and Ramon, he called himself the Blade, another airbrush artist of Corona, that kind of tagged up with me for a while, was learning the process even more. And we were in a spray booth. Matt had a computer, a laptop. We put plastic over the top of it, and we're watching this DVD step by step, how to do True Fire. And we had all the colors mixed up, and Dave said, well, you got to have all these colors, It's not just 3 colors, it's like 18 colors. And we're passing the airbrush back and forth and back and forth. And that's how it all started. And Matt wound up coming back to RCC and as a volunteer aide and started this True Fire. But then he switched over because Mike was doing all, traditional flames, like the prominent colors. But Matt's kind of switched over to the blues and greens, and he was messing with that. And then later on, you saw everybody else start transition over to those other colors, rather than the fire stuff. So it was a learning experience, and I mean, to this day, I went to the brush off a few months ago with Hot Dog Pete there, and it's a group of all pinstriper artists that they get together and they exchange panels. You do a panel and then you exchange it with another artist. And,
That's cool.
And that was awesome. I got to see a lot of my friends
That's cool.
from years ago that I used to hang out with. But Ron Foreman used to host it years ago. And then it went over to another friend of mine, Tim. And then now it's back with Pete, and next year it's going to be back with Pete. And it was kind of cool to have Matt, after everybody kind of left, come up and thank me for that opportunity to get into the career. Because I remember drawing, I would take him back to SEMA back in the day, and at the Grotto, at the Hard Rock Cafe, when Dave used to host that, and the other stencil company did that, and taking him, and everybody got to go in, and I had him and his girlfriend at the time trying to get him in. It was funny because there was
Well done. This is so long ago. Like the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel doesn't even exist anymore now.
But it was Gene Winfield came up and he goes, "Hey, how do you get into this thing, Doc?" And I was
Good
like,
old Gene.
"Yeah,
Gene Winfield's asking how to get in.
The guy goes, "His name's not on the list." I go, "You don't know who this is. This
His
is
name
a list."
doesn't have to be on the
Yeah.
list.
You're like,
And he goes, "No, he's
He
not
is
on
the
the list."
list.
And I go, "Okay, all right." So Dave came over and walks it through. Okay, Gene goes in, and then here comes another guy. So his name's John, House of Color. And John goes, "Hey, Herb, I want to get into this thing." And I said, "You got to be on the invite list, and I'll see what I can do." "Well, let's see what you can do." And I go, "Okay." But he goes, "I got 6 other people." And I go, "Man," I said, I know I can get you in. I don't know about your other people in your booth, And so Dave came over and he goes, "Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. Okay, let him in. The VIP, put the wristband on him and so forth like that." And Dave goes, he says, "Herb, I know these are famous people, and them, and I know who they are. But man, all these other people that are coming in," he goes, "it's like standing room only over there. It's getting pretty crowded." And originally we started out, it was only 125 artists from all over the United States, and a few from Europe and so forth. And that thing just grew and grew and grew. And the good thing was, it was an open bar. It was funny because
That's always a good thing.
Gene Winfield goes, "Can I
Gene's
get a
not
drink?"
going to drink.
And he doesn't
Gene
drink,
doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink.
That actually brings kind of this whole point full circle about like Matt and everyone who was a former student. So like that, I would like to highlight, because I think my dad won't mention this, but he has his, semi-annual, he has 2 shows a year that we do for all of his students at Riverdale High School, and all the proceeds go to his students. And
cool.
Nice.
It's typically always Mother's Day weekend. And then the other show, the Day of the Doe show, which is kind of lands after Halloween, like the following weekend.
So it's right at SEMA at that time.
But I do want to just kind of be sure to announce that because it is student based, it's going to high school students that are underage, scholarship, it is all going to them, but there's no alcohol. It is a dry show. Want to make sure that everyone's aware of that and set your expectations, but also we want it to be family oriented and
Yeah.
It's upon you, but the proceeds are going to students that are at the high school and in his classes. And so
I think that's so awesome.
actually our next big thing that we have coming up. I already started prepping all this stuff out. Thank you guys for all your raffle stuff.
We still want to be a part of that and be able to send some.
I'm going to make some other cute baskets again with all your,
Merch.
Yeah.
I know, that's great.
Those are a hit. People love them. So thank you so much for contributing to that. But yeah, that's coming up pretty soon. So we're busy with that.
Yeah. And then Mother's Day weekend is Sunday. All right. So we did the show on Saturday because we know we did it Sunday.
No, it
No
didn't.
one's
Right.
gonna
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Right.
So it works out pretty good. And there's times, I hit all the shows locally and go to club meetings and so forth and help out. But last year and the year before, we were able to give out $6,000 each year.
Oh,
We're hoping for
nice.
that.
Awesome.
That's sweet.
So
Yeah.
That
that's-
makes it so worth it.
It really
so
does.
worth it when you're like, this is what just the show contribute that much to a student. You
And
know,
I love the fact that these kids can see the fruit of their labor, like what the potential is if they keep doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? How they can grow as artists and as painters, and in the culture.
well, and
and
look who they have as a role
that's
model
what I'm
to
saying.
look up to. That's like that's huge. You know,
You got Doc Weber as your teacher on your resume. You're going far.
yeah.
For sure. And then
just
also,
culture.
we're also, hoping for more involvement. My dad has a lot of more female students, and so we're pushing that a lot. Yeah.
Good.
And,
I'm for it.
What was your former student from the paint company that she's a manager now?
Oh, yeah, Riverside Paint. So one of the stores, that they have 3 stores, she's the manager. And then she came and
Nice.
spoke at the college, and
So awesome.
I had 6 women in my adult custom paint class, and she told them, hey, I broke into this industry where it was hard and so forth. She worked at Caliber Collision to prove herself, and she goes, I'm an advocate of you girls, you women, getting into the industry.
Yeah.
And 2 of the girls wound up working in shops. They told me, and they texted me and said, hey, guess where I'm at, and so forth. I go, awesome. I was just I was at a big conference here in Southern California, and I'm a big advocate of women being in the trade. Shortage of women in the industry for auto collision, and welders also. That's another big thing I'm pushing for. So I hope that I always tell the girls, I can get you a job first before these guys. And of course, the guys are really upset with me. But when it comes to welding, they're more meticulous. They listen to everything. They got the procedures down where you get a guy and he gets nervous or something like that. And a lot of the women, I've got some amazing welders, and they're continuing on. I've got a girl that's going to Colorado to a trade school because she's doing auto collision, but she goes also in welding, and minor in welding. So that's a big push to get those women to get their self-esteem too. And I've been that with my girls, Amanda and Annette, to be independent. I actually, my oldest one, she said, her husband said, I could die tomorrow and it wouldn't make a difference, but she just keeps on going. So it's something that we need. And I've had girls in corporate and Toyota, the Ford dealerships talk about, how there's a need, and we have to push for it. And Colette, I always, and when I see you doing pictures and stuff, that's nothing that's staged. People think, oh, they're going to comment or something like that. That's you with your talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a given talent.
Yeah.
And when you got it, and you should express it and be an advocate for other young women.
I'm so supportive of it, super supportive of lifting other women up in this industry, regardless of welding or painter. There is, we're here. You know, we can.
There's enough room for everybody.
There's enough room for everybody.
The whole stigmata thing is over. I'd love to see just as many women welders as men welders, and painters and fabricators and everything. It's just there's no reason not to in this
supporting
day and
other
age.
women and building each other up. We're a force to be reckoned with. I believe. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that we can, alongside the men all day long. And become a team at that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Murpho's, like we're really advocating that as well, and always looking to, support and uplift gals that want to get into the thing. We have another girl in the shop, Lee, who is a painter,
Great painter,
and in our body shop here, so we've got 2 like kick-ass girls in this shop right now that are like making it happen on a daily.
We just had a girl here for the chop class. That was so super cool. She was like, I'm signing up. I'm like, yeah. I was like, so excited. And we just like toe to toe next to each other, and we were like super into it, and she was super into it. She welds all day long, so in a different perspective, she was seeing what it takes to metal shape, right, to form things. And I'm like, just keep going to these classes, and then I'm like, send me your resume. You know, like send it over as fast as you can.
Yeah.
She just super cool, you know, and I'm like, it's good to see more women not be scared and timid to come into these shops with these guys, because they want to help. They want to show.
It was impressive, you know, because she wasn't going to be held back. Like, you know, the guys will kind of like, you know, kick back and post up, and, you know, they're trying to like take it in, but they're trying to be cool in a way. And she's just like, I want to weld. I want to get in there, get out of my way. Like help me, let me cut, let me do something.
And I'm like, get in there. And she's like, I'm going. And he's like, yeah, come on.
Let's go.
Like,
Yeah.
Let's go. And I was like, yeah.
I think the days of where it would be like, you know, and it'd be like, where is your husband type thing, or what do you do? Those are, we're in the information age. You know, there's women welders out there that might know more than half these fellows, and like this gal, you know,
right,
who's a welder and says, hey man, this is what I do. Let me in there, get it done. You know, and she's both, you know, doing nickels and whatnot.
Well, like, and then too,
it
just makes such for a good dynamic, right?
Yeah,
like, we're
absolutely.
such a good team, and we appreciate each other and what we do, and we also feed off of each other, and it just works so well, you know.
Sure.
There's no separate sides. It's
girls, if you're listening, you can do it.
You can too. We
And
have a
actually,
still
I
action.
that because honestly, like working with you guys, you know, doing my kind of my first shoots, even though I had done other stuff in the past, you know, I honestly, like, I've expressed it before to you, Colette. I don't think I could have gone through that without you and Shelby, you know, being those like supportive, strong women. And it takes a lot more to be uplifting and encouraging. And like, that's what it should be about in this culture. And
Absolutely.
there is, like you said, there is room for everyone at the table. And,
Right.
you know,
And we all have a part in
Right.
this, right? And it's
Yeah.
the culture, bringing the culture together, right?
Right. Which is a big
Yeah.
deal.
Huge,
And-
huge.
I mean, honestly, I still remember like you telling me like, oh, do this. And like, you just amped me up and made me feel so confident. And
Because
like,
you were stunning. You were amazing. Like, the car was great, but then the net came in, and I'm like,
Yeah,
ding!
so yeah, I want to give a
Yeah, shout out to Annette
also
first.
a shout out to Annette because, you know, when we were
in the magazine,
doing all the magazines and stuff, she shot with us, you know, and it was awesome. She got to shoot with us a couple of times, and it was like you could see kind of the confidence go up and what she did.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
it was so good.
Annette, you did great. Those were really great memories for us, and the art that we created together, and to be a part of it and doing that, just, you know, that's awesome, and we won't forget. Like, it was always, you know, important to us, and I hope that it's something that you know, cherish getting to do that. Magazines are going away, you know, quickly, so, you know, you got to do it while it happened.
Oh yeah, I can see the picture right there.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
stunning,
Nice.
just stunning.
what we did first, remember, the sun was setting, and I remember that, like, and then it was after that Colette, you helped me, like, in the next shoot with the next car. I felt a lot more.
She
Yeah.
radiates what culture is, right? And for women and the culture, and being who her dad is, I mean, she represents something so special, and you really do. And if you don't see it, it's there. It's all over you.
It's nice
It
that
just
ties
radiates.
everything together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely consider myself a car girl. I mean, I had no choice. I grew up in it.
That's
You
what
know?
I'm saying. She just she radiates it and doesn't even know it. She walks it, and there it is. I'm like, ding! Like, it was like perfect.
But yeah,
Gorgeous.
that's
Yeah,
why
good.
but you are so strong and empowering. And again, I can't thank you enough. I know I tell you a lot, but you really do. Your energy helped me with my confidence, you know, those years ago when I was going through a hard time. And that's what it should be about, is,
It should,
you know,
always. And I know you are going to pass that down to somebody else, and then you're going to empower them, and they're going to feel the same exact way. They're going to remember that day, or they're going to remember that moment. So if we keep doing that, that's what's going to keep it going, right?
yes, exactly.
There's been so many people in this culture that you guys all know where it's kind of us against us for some
Why?
weird reason that
I'll never
nobody
understand
ever.
it.
Well, it's the thing, no one ever gets to the root on why it is that way when it should never be that way. It should be us, about the culture, about everything.
Because we're keeping it
Right.
alive.
You know, it's
Right.
like, and Doc, I'm sure you've come across, you know, in your tenure of painting where some guy comes around and goes, Yeah, he's a painter, but he's not a pinstriper. You go, no, I can pinstripe too. Oh yeah, but you can do that, but you don't do that. Oh yeah, but it's ridiculous. Why do that when you can turn around and go, listen, we all can be, a good painter, a good pinch, all the different factors on the outside of the car compared to the inside of the car. And people bitch and moan, well, I'm this guy, I'm that guy, whatever. Why not just help out and say, listen, about the shop
number
class.
one why he's a teacher.
Exactly.
He gives
It is.
back.
You're right.
He's always giving back.
And I love it. There's just so much animosity for no reason that I love the fact that you guys are helping bring everything together. You know, it's the way it should be. It's the way the whole thing should be.
I'm gonna piggyback on that, and before I do, I just want to tell another shout out to Doc. Like, hey man, Dad, good job. You raised a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. But no, dude, like, why is that people can't just support each other in this culture and not like bash on each other's stuff? And you know, it's like there's enough for everyone. You know.
Dude. All the way from the East Coast to the West Coast and then everywhere in the world,
And
man.
then in between.
There's enough for everybody to do their
There really
thing.
is. And I think, though, finding out who those people, those naysayers, or I'm better than everybody else,
It's silly.
I don't want to be around you.
No.
I just don't even want to associate with you. I want to be around like Doc and,
Right.
and
Well-
Annette, because they're going to be the ones that are going to uplift, right?
Right.
And they're going to be like, hell yeah. And they're going to come together. I want to be around those people.
Well-
so the toxicity they could drive on out.
It's like Doc was saying when we first started about the kids from Japan and the kids from France and all these different
Yeah.
people.
You make
it
an
could very
impression on
easily
somebody.
be, I'm not talking to you, you're from Japan, or I'm not talking to you from France. And some people do that. Not saying you ever would, because you're the opposite. You're the teacher. You're like, come here, my brother, let me teach. What is your question? I got you. You know,
Yeah, he's always
the
giving
pinstriper from
back.
France probably saw you and went, dude, we got no G in my mitts, and I'm gonna go over and say hello. You know, that is so important. It really is, man.
That says a lot.
Especially on a daily thing, man. That's huge. And we've talked about before Japan. I've told Murpho we need to go over to Japan and tour Japan and all the crazy cars and
Have
and
you
all the
done
stuff
Moon
they're
Eyes,
doing.
Doc?
It's crazy, man.
Have you gone to Moon Eyes?
And eat my way through Japan.
No, but I'm willing to go next year if you
I
guys
know,
are.
me too. It's a bucket list. I need to check it off the bucket list. I'm just gonna need one Moon Eyes. One.
I don't know, Colette. I'll go if you join the pinup contest. I'll do it with you.
I will definitely support you in it. I'll be like, go Dad. I'll be screaming your name. Everybody won't know what I'm saying, but
I'll
some
join the
people will.
contest. I might win it. though.
Deuce will.
I might win it.
You never know.
You know, you never
might.
know.
I don't think you're gonna
6'4", 300.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not
You might
gonna
just
win.
be a little too tall for that one.
Yeah.
But no, Moon Eyes is a good one.
It's
It's,
fun to be up there. You know, every lady that's up there's got a story. You know, and it's just it's that self worth that helps a lot. And when you're
Absolutely.
up there, you know, you're nervous and so
Oh
forth.
yeah.
And then after you did it, you go, I think I could do it again. Yeah.
Which honestly, do you guys remember at Huframa, that was the first pinup contest I did, and I had no idea that you were judging. And I was
He
like,
was.
"Fuck you,"
I was
and
holding a tent
so
while he
nervous.
was. I was holding the tent down while the winds came through at Hufarama while he was up there. I'm like, oh gosh, thank God all the, the dead sleds were like, here, picking up stickers, handing them to me. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I was holding it all down while he was up front. You were up in for Hufarama.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
judging.
down there.
He was a judge.
Hold an easy up down and in the wind. But yeah, that was funny because that I had no idea that you were judging that, and I was just like, okay, like put things aside. Like I was so nervous, and it takes a lot of courage to do all that. But anyways, I would be. I don't know. I've never been to Japan. I've only gone as far as Europe, and I'm ready to
Same
see
here,
the
yeah.
other side of the spectrum of the car world because
Man.
we've only they bring coming here, and I think it would be
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah.
It would be. It really would
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would be amazing. It's definitely on my bucket list.
They're doing
to
some cool stuff.
be. There's just
I'd
so many
really-
good fabricators.
really
like
like
all
to take
over.
a car.
Oh yes,
You know,
that would be the
but
big thing.
That'd be the best.
Let's fly it there. Let's not container it there. That's a little scary.
Oh,
I've heard some stories from Jack Walker on shipping things in a container, and I'm like, I'm going to listen to these stories because he knows better. So
Yeah, but Annette, great job. The pinup contest too. I'm thinking back now, like I have my memory's a little
You were
fuzzy
there.
sometimes, but I think you did great there, and I think that it's awesome to see you like do these things that take some guts and like to get out there and like, you know,
and don't stop.
Go. Yeah.
Keep going.
It's awesome.
It's not an end game for you. It's actually like you're gonna inspire somebody else.
That's what I was
in the
just gonna
same way
say.
you were inspired.
There's other little girls out there that
Yeah.
are seeing you up there going, man, if she can do it, I can do it.
too.
Or I
You know,
want
which
to
is-
be
or
like that.
I want to be like that
her.
someday.
Inspiration.
Yeah, which I think is that's where it all begins, is right there with the inspiration. Where, man, if one person's doing it, another looks over and goes, someday I want to do that.
Yeah.
And next thing you
I
know,
wanna
that
be
next
her.
person is getting the next people involved. The next
And that's
people
how
involved.
we do keep this generation,
Exactly.
the next generation going.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
will say, as like being a part of this my entire life as a daughter, you know, nothing makes my face. I don't smile a lot, you know. I get that from my grandma, but you know, nothing makes me light up more at car shows when I see a grandfather or a father with their little girl. It just warms my heart to a whole nother level where I'm like, okay, what can I give to them? Like, let me, you know, a sticker or something, but it's just, it makes me so happy to see that continuing now, even just a couple weekends ago when we were at another show. But, you know, I always try to, I don't know, and I still love that even, you know, my brother's daughter, she loves cars. Like, she had a blast at Grand Nationals. He always brings her because my brother, you know, he's in the industry as well, but, you know, she's in love. She's not obsessed with Barbies or dolls or anything. She's obsessed with cars, literally the Disney movie Cars. She like loves
That's my girl.
like she's, you know, and I see that kind of like, okay, well, it kind of adds up. It makes sense because that's probably like how I was inspired by like my dad. And then she's following her dad's, you know, like likings and stuff. And it's really cool. And yeah, that's the stuff that makes me happy, is seeing that kind of when the people come to our booth and you see the little girls and they're so excited. And yeah, they get excited because it's glitter like on the skateboards and like whatever, but they're ecstatic and it's cool. And I don't know, that's the thing that makes me happy and makes me want to continue doing this stuff. And, you know, just
don't stop.
That, because those are countless, like priceless memories that we had going to the Pomona Swap Meet, going to the car shows, like as kids and learning that way. I mean, that was like how I first met Jean too, way back in the day, little girl, you know, I just, yeah, it kind of, it stems from how you're taught and being part of it. But I had no choice. I was, you know, raised in it. So
back in the day, we used to go to Costa Mesa with Al Martinez, and I used to do the judging there. And I'd have other magazines. I had like duplicates, right? These guys were selling those. Yeah. And then I was big in the toy collection. And so they would sell the toys.
We had stickers. We would set them
That's
up.
awesome.
We had these things. It was a whole thing, like routine we had down. It would, you know, you got up early in the morning, you got beef jerky, drove out there.
Yeah.
And then we got to go to Spaghetti Factory, but you know, it was fun. And we always got to like get some prizes ourselves, but we had a whole routine. Like I was a vendor before it was like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be having your kids work for you.
Child labor.
That's awesome.
I was paid in hot dog on a stick and beef jerky. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I'd work for hot dog on a stick and beef jerky all day.
Totally beef jerky guy
I
right
do
there.
that in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids, they love being at car shows, and I have two sons that are now 16 and 13, and they love it. They love the cars. They love seeing the cars. They love seeing the different styles of cars. And it's funny to see them now. Like my youngest said the other day, he sees this car and he goes, "Dad, that car needs suicide doors on it." I was telling Murph earlier, he goes, "That needs to have suicide." I looked over at him, I went, "Well done, all right." Because it just
laid
needs
the
it.
foundation. Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
When kids come up, you know, and like I just did the Good Guy show too, and in San Diego, and kids want to touch all the glitter and stuff, you know, and I go, yeah, you can go ahead. My parents were like, don't touch, because you know, and I go, go ahead and touch it, and they were like, oh, can I take a picture with it, you know, and hold it? Yeah, there's no problem with that. Even at Viva, you know, Annette would, the kids would come up and look at stuff, and then she goes, they didn't purchase anything, but she would give them a sticker. That sticker meant so much to them, you know.
Right.
That's
just
me.
Guys with the magazine, yeah. That's something that they always have. They'll take it to school, ask them what that's all about. Went to a car show, I saw these cars with my grandfather or my dad or my uncle and so forth. And that helps inspire. Those are the things that we got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Right.
little
Yeah.
things. that
Well, you have
spark.
no idea, like you just said, what that one little sticker will do for a kid. 20 years from now, he might say, man, he might have that same sticker that he scraped off a skateboard,
On his book.
got some glue on it, and now it's on the back window of an old car that he's in the middle of tearing apart to do up. You know what I mean? You never know. You just don't know. And I love it, man. Love it.
It's like Chip Foose. If you go to Chip Foose's business establishment and there's a kid there, he'll stop and give them a tour.
Yeah.
With the dad or the mom.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't
That's
see
awesome.
that, but that all derives from Sam, his dad. That's the parents and Terry bringing him upright. Where a lot of these guys would have like a big ego and so forth. He's one of the guys that's just down to earth, man. And
I love that.
there's people in the industry that, like you say, think they're better than other people. But you get those guys together. I'll give you a scenario. So we were at George Barris's funeral, and Barry McGuire spoke. He gave the eulogy, and he goes and says, "If a bomb came off and blew up right now here, and everybody was destroyed here, what would happen to the industry?" Because it was a who's who of people. I mean, yeah, we were there for George, and the family and so forth, but that association with the people afterwards talking and so forth. I remember I was in the parking lot with Rick Dorr, and we were checking out cars,
Right.
after when they were loading up the casket and so forth. And, that, who can do that? Where someone says, I'm better than you or something like that.
Right.
And the thing I get away with is a lot because I'm an educator. So I'm no challenge to them, they think, and that's why I could be accepted. So it's not going to be, they're not worried about, I'm going to take work from them or anything like that. So I can get by. I'm kind of like a chameleon. I can go over here, change the colors and be with them, and then go over here and be with somebody else. It's the strange thing when I go to like House of Color seminars and so forth, and they say, what do you do? Oh, I'm the head painter and so, or I build with this guy, and they're just kind of boasting about themselves. And then it comes to my turn and they go, I'm a teacher. And all of a sudden I look, and a lot of times I'll see guys lean over or somebody go, yeah, he's a teacher because he can't make it in the industry.
Oh,
That's the guy. We don't have to worry. And then
Except the people in the back that are looking who know that go, nah.
Well,
I would say opposite about Doc Weber and say somebody who shaped the industry and helped support and build the industry.
Way more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way more accurate.
It's I can get away with a lot of stuff that here's a story I never told on the first one. Years ago, I'm at Pomona Swap Meet, and there's a guy with a little TV tray set up, got a few cans with dabs of color on top, And I just looked at it, and I kind of went over and I go, those candies? And he goes, yeah, those are candies. And I said, man, how much are they? And I bought them from him, and I bought like 8 cans, and it was a heck of a deal. And then the next year I go back, and now he's got a little stand, and he's got labels on it. And it says Bill Carter, all right? And then it's Pro Paint. And then that became, one of a famous painter in our business, and he passed away, God rest his soul. But I remember him saying when he got the labels on stuff, can you push the products at Riverside? And I went to a few jobbers and knocking on doors, and they knew who I was and so forth. Okay, can you carry that line? No, it's a new line. We don't know about it, And I had a guy here in town, Dave, that wound up carrying the line. And every time someone would buy a product, call him. He'll tell you how to spray it, how to reduce it. It says on a label, and then you got it down. And I'd get these phone calls. A few years back, a Rhythm Collision, Alex had a show, and there was a bass guitar there that wasn't done in honor of him. And I went, I looked, and I saw the signature, and I was like, wow, that's, amazing painter. And it was in a PPG booth. So, a lot of people walked by and didn't notice it. but people in the industry knew who it was.
Right.
You don't have to say who it was. You look at the work, the artwork. You can tell on your style of a chop. There's a line that you look for, and people don't see that line. But you're in the industry, you know what that line should look like. Mm-hmm. Or if you got a rework from another chop that was done somebody else and it wasn't done right, and they bring it to you, and I say, can you fix this? And you go, I can fix it, but it's a lot of work, and I'll do it. Money's not the object here. It's what you see, that final vision. Every car that walks driven out of your shop is part of you. Yep. You can see that car 20 years from now and go, I did that car. Yeah. Somebody else might have painted it or tried to refreshen it up and so forth. I had a Woody that I did, 40 Woody that I did for an individual, and I saw it on Barrett Jackson. I told Annette, I did that Woody. And the Woody that I did had a block print from a famous Japanese artist with the wave coming over on the front end of the fender and the hood. And when it was at Barrett's, they wound up painting back the rest of the color, like a seafoam green. And I'm watching this thing, and I text the guy who did the woodwork, Alex, Wooden Warriors of North, and he goes, that's the car. That's the car. They repainted it. And I know it because I remember I had the powder coating wheels, wire wheels, done to that color because the guy wanted to make sure. And the thing is, people don't, it's just a Woody. It sold for over 200,000. But this gentleman that had the car, I remember he went to Connecticut, he went to Pennsylvania to look for pieces of wood, that in Japanese culture, wood has a spirit, a soul. So you have to understand. And every stick on that car was chosen by him. And that's like if you do a job, the completion of that job, every aspect of that car,
Right.
And that's part of you. That car
like
leaves the show, it wins.
Right.
But you know more than that customer knows about that car.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot about one of the things that I try and explain to people is like when you put so much into a car that you're doing, and obviously you get connected to it or you get proud of it or whatever, but you're taking often something that is kind of coming back to life or is getting another life or a transformed life. And there's a point in a build where I think that the car does kind of take on having a soul,
right?
And then you have that. Then you have that connection to that, and it's kind of like your baby, and it doesn't go away, right? You may send it off into the wild, but and even when that day comes, man, you finally have completed this car and it's going to go out. It's sort of like when you take your kid to kindergarten for the first time and kind of drop them off, and you have this trepidation and this anxiety about it, because it's like it's a thing you're connected to, and it's going off on its own. It's a crazy thing to talk about because people think of cars as being innate or inanimate, but man, don't you just and that bond, it's forever, right? Yeah.
And you never forget, even if it changes colors.
Customer becomes family too.
Right.
You have that rapport for them, and you might do one build, and I know we have a doctor that we've done. Adam started out in motorcycles doing bobbers and stuff, and then wound up doing rat rods and some wild customs and so forth. That customer is a good buddy,
Yeah,
sure.
extension.
We had an accident where one of the guys that worked for us cut his finger. Called him up, he came over, sewed it back up.
Yeah.
What kind of person would do that, And he wanted to learn to do that stuff. So he'd watch us work, You see those signs every once in a while at the shop, shop rate's $100. If you watch, it's $200,
Yeah.
So those things go on, but you as a builder, you guys, there might be a rust spot on there that customer would never know about inside the wheel well, and you've done that work, And
Right.
if you don't take a snapshot of it, they'll never know.
Right.
You have to walk through the build.
But I tell you this much, if you don't address it and take care of it, there's going to be somebody somewhere who finds it and sees it.
That's true.
There's always haters out there, of course, but yeah.
I always get in trouble at SEMA with my son because I had a car, especially black, That's all my son does is black cars or trucks. And I'll eye it. And my son goes, Dad, stop it. Stop it. 'Cause you know the owner, the builder might be there.
Yeah.
And,
He's gonna pick everything out. Ding, 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 ding.
I have to say, you guys, if you don't ever, like, if we can actually go to a car show, my dad and I, and like walk away and get someone to cover our booth, that is the most fun for me personally to walk around with my dad, because I do have to tell him that, I'm like whisper, like library voices, like I see it, you don't need it, like stop, I already see it, like I'm talking, we get it. But that's the most fun for me that I've always had, is walking around with my dad at shows and just admiring, appreciating, getting photos, and that's our fun time. Like,
I like how you just
not working
mentioned that, Annette, how you said if you get the time to walk away from the booth, because we don't get to do that. You're at the booth.
Drive people. Can I buy you
I
food?
miss so much stuff. I'm like, I just want to walk around for like at least an hour.
Yeah, how many times we've
honestly,
been?
You guys asked how Viva was. I literally didn't walk around. I literally saw like the Dead Sleds over here, another club. I guess
from the booth from afar.
I was too busy working, and then it was too hot, and I was like, I'm going back to the room. I'm tired. Like,
I say that all the time. I'm like, if I could just get like an hour, and then I hear people at the swap meet, and then that's really stirring me wild, because I'm like, I just want to go look at the swap meet, and then I'm telling people, I'm like, if you find this little clamshell window light finder, take a picture of it and send it to me. I'll buy it. You know, like I can't even go in the swap meet. I'm like so sad.
That's the great thing about having friends that are also there too, because they know like what you like, they'll look out for you. But other than that, it's like, working, you can't enjoy the show. Like literally,
you're really talking to. I'm thankful for the people that stop by the booth, and that's like my biggest thing. So I get to conversate with everybody, but it's like I can't leave. I can't go see what band's playing or what swap meet. What's that swap?
I know. But when people ask, like, "Oh, did you see?" I'm like, "No, I didn't leave this like 5-foot radius." Like,
I'm right here. Come see. You're like, come see me. Come see me.
Yeah, to get food and go to the restroom. I don't know what was going on. Yeah.
I can't tell you guys how many times we've been at shows and somebody like, well, how was the show? It's like, I don't know. Did you see the 40 Merc with the no.
Yeah, and I'm like,
didn't see that.
Damn it. But it's funny, I'm like, hey, can you go give me something to drink? And then I'm like, 5 hours later, or I'm like, oh, he'll be 6 hours later this time. He gets stopped along the way, so then he's like, "Oh, sorry, here's your drink."
Well, especially like the one here in Austin in particular, where everybody, it took us. Well, we went
3
around.
hours, and I just wanted a bottle of water.
People go, "Hey Murph, can I get a picture of Murph? Hey Murph."
But it is nice when people do come and visit, though. That's like the upside of it. But dang,
I honestly I like to show a little bit more of my personality now. Like I'm trying, like I don't care that much what people think of me, but at the show in San Diego, my dad said, "I'll be right back." So on video.
I'll be right back. I'll see you Tuesday.
And I'm eating was I eating a piece of pizza? Or I don't know what I was eating.
It was a corn dog and a beef jerky.
It was not a flattering photo, but I was like, my caption was, your dad said, "I'll be right back." And it's like 45 minutes later. And I'm like,
I know.
just like sitting there going, yeah, you said 15 minutes is an hour, 45 minutes later, because you get stopped, you get everything.
I know Ned's pain. Yeah.
Best intentions. Hey, best intentions, man,
He was trying to get back. I know he was.
Well, Trixie was supposed to be there at Good Guys. So I go over to go see if she's there. She's not there. And her daughter-in-law is there, and I wound up talking to her, and we've done shows with them for years and years. And I'm looking at her daughter and she goes, my son's they're Mormon. He's going on his mission. He's 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I go, I remember that little kid I was yelling at the Suede Palace because he had a little scooter and he's riding all over in between the vendors, And the daughter now, she's in high school. And I'm just like, I remember you holding her. And she goes, yeah, time goes by so fast. You know,
It does
it's
go by fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's going
When you
quick.
go to a show, you're looking for some friends that you know you might have heard somebody say, "Hey, they're not doing too good," you know, and you want to and just drop by and say hi, and you know,
Yeah.
tell them, you know, I'm praying for you, you know,
I
anything you
appreciate
need,
you.
yeah, you know, and that means a lot to us, you know.
Mhm.
And when you guys, you know, when we hear things and so forth, you know, somebody might criticize something and say, "Yeah, but you don't know the backstory,"
Mhm.
you know.
Right.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
what
always
goes on.
another side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
and you guys, I'm there, and one of the guys from the Road Devil comes over, and he goes, "I was writing for Rod Z and doing some stuff," and I go, "Oh, okay, all right." And he goes, "I know who you are," and so forth. Turns out he's the president of that club, and I was just like, "Wow!" And he came back over, and we were bringing in cars into the building, and we got talking and stuff. And how many people he knew that I knew, and they were mutual friends, you know. And that's the good thing. We don't get that time a lot of times to talk and let our hair down and just, you know, be regular people.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, seems like we're always on stage and people are watching and so forth. I remember going to Born Free, and my son makes some bikes for some builders, and he doesn't advertise it, but the last minute thing, you know, "Hey, I gotta get this tank and stuff done. Can you do it?" And you know, a night before or the 2 days before, hand over the stuff, and the stuff is, you know, is fresh and soft, you know. And then walking with Cole Foster and Born Free, and he goes, "I would just love to have a beer and walk around the show." And being
Right.
a nice guy that he is, stop, take a picture, you know, all this stuff, you know. And he goes, "Can we walk 20 feet and just enjoy the show?" And we started walking, and it was like 10 feet. And he looks and goes, "See, there it is," you know.
Yeah, but that's the price of success.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, but still, you know, yeah, I enjoy, my favorite thing, hands down, is walking around with my dad when we can escape. And also, my second favorite part of any show is, because we are vendors, I get to, you know, we have to wait till the end, but I get to see all the cars roll out with the
Oh,
owner.
yeah.
I've gotten down. I had a brand new pair of like kitten heels, white kitten heels, ruined them at the show because I was like trying to get good pictures and like videos and stuff. But to me, that's the most exciting part, is because no one else is around. There's no people in front of your photos, and it's all about the car. You can hear the engine, you can see it, you can, you know.
Yeah, you watch the move in and the move out, and then you're front row. I'm watching.
Favorite part.
Yeah.
A lot of these shows, a lot of them, whether it's rain or shine, you know, I can be tired as hell. My feet are swollen from standing all day.
Show must go on.
My favorite part is watching the cars roll out. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I love it. My voice.
I love rolling my car out.
Well, I
There you
like
go.
rolling the car in and out, but I do like watching the cars go by.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
it's so fun. It's the best, especially when there's actually like no one around, and so you can get some good videos, but you can just hear it quiet, and it's just, you know, it's just the car guys, it's just the owners, it's a different type of, I don't know. I always tell my dad, like, I get so excited after that. It's like going to see Slipknot, like in the pit, and like getting that amped up and excited.
Up front view,
Yeah.
in your face. It's right there.
Wait, I'm getting the thumbs up from Tony.
Man, I
We're-
hate that
I
part.
know.
It's
He's
like
like
every
going, "Hey,
time
man,
we're getting to another level.
We're there again. Remember last time you were on, Doc? It went so fast, bro. We said we had to get you back, and I'm so glad we got you back.
They're too fast.
And both Doc and Annette, I want you guys to give us all of your skinnies, how people can get a hold of y'all,
both of you
websites,
together.
everything you guys got.
Yeah.
So whichever one wants to start.
I don't do Facebook or anything else. I'm strictly Instagram. It's Annette Von Weber, or you can search Annette Weber. And then my dad's Instagram, I will be honest, I run it. It's so if there's a side, it's my fault. It's Herb_Weber, or you can search Doc Von Weber. And then also for the car show, it's Route 66 Car Club. That gives all the details for a show coming up for the students. All the proceeds go to the students of Rubidoux High School that are in his car club on May 11th. this year.
And
Nice.
we'll be sending our stuff for support.
Yes.
And hopefully we
Absolutely.
can get out there just to
Thank
be
you
out there.
so
But
much.
we're
Appreciate
definitely
Yeah,
have you guys'
absolutely,
back.
guys.
It means so much.
Always.
It is such a pleasure. First of all, Annette, to have you on here
Yes.
for the first time, but
Whoop,
Doc,
whoop.
Thank you.
to have you back on, Doc Weber, and just everything you do. We said it last time. We'll say it again, man. By you teaching all these kids that now there's your old students that are adults and they're doing it and they're showing what the kids you're teaching now can do. When they see it, they get tangible. It's there. It's like that guy.
The gift
I love
gap.
it, man. And everything you've been doing for the past 30, 40 years, man, it's all paid off and still paying off every day. And we cannot thank you enough for being on our show, bro. I love it. Huh?
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys. I love you. Bye.
We love you guys.
All right,
I
guys.
appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See you in Santa Maria.
Santa
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so very much. And Murpho and Custom Colette, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
We thank Ginny Shifters, the original and still the best, for our sponsor, and Murpho's Rod and Custom Shop here in beautiful Buda, Texas. This is the Rod and Custom Show saying goodnight.